So today we're going to be doing BEDMAS with fractions. Now BEDMAS starts with brackets. So if we look at the question, there's some brackets here. So I'll rewrite this over on the right so that I can do the work for that one piece and replace it back into the original question afterwards. So looking at this piece, really it's just addition of fractions. So with addition of fractions, just like we did yesterday, we're first going to ensure that all mixed numbers are fractions. So I've replaced the left fraction, 2 3/4, with 2 times 4 plus 3 over 4. Now when I do 2 times 4 plus 3, that becomes 8 plus 3. And I'll continue with just the 2 over 1. That 8 plus 3 becomes 11. So now I have negative 11 over 4 plus 2 over 1. Now it's just an addition of fractions, so I need to find the LCD. So I'm looking for the LCD of 4 and 1, the two denominators. Now from that, I'll list the multiples of 4, 8, 12, and list the multiples of 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that I see 4, that's my lowest common denominator. So from here, I will replace the bottom of each fraction over 4. I didn't need to do anything to the first fraction because it was already over 4. But the second fraction, I need to make over 4. To get it over 4, I'll need to times it by 4, which means both the top and the bottom need to be times by 4. Rewrite what I've got. It's going to be over 4, and I am adding fractions, so I need to put the larger number on top, or digit anyways, and the smaller digit on bottom. Check the signs, they're opposites, so I'm subtracting. 11 subtract 8 is 3, and I have my final answer of 3 over 4, which is a negative number because the larger digit was a negative. Now, finally, I can get back to the original question, replacing my negative 2 3/4 plus 2 to negative 3 over 4. I leave everything else in the question the same. So now I'll look, what's the next step? Well, with BEDMAS, we did brackets. Now we're looking for exponents, and there's an exponent there. So I'll rewrite it down in my margin around the bottom. I'm just going to copy and paste it here to make it easier for myself. Now, with negative 3 over 4 squared, that's really just negative 3 over 4 times itself. So that's negative 3 over 4. Everything that was in the brackets is still going to be in the brackets. So now I'm going to multiply negative 3 times negative 3, the numerators times the numerators, and 4 times 4, denominator times denominator. That'll give me 9 over 16. Now, it's a negative times a negative, which is why I put positive 9. So let's take that whole fraction and put it right back up into our original equation. So we've got 9/16 now, replacing negative 3 over 4 squared. I'll still have 1 5/8. Subtract that 9 over 16. Now I only have one operation left, so BEDMAS doesn't really matter anymore because I've only got one operation to do. So this is subtraction, so I first need to make sure I'd have no mixed numbers. So that's 1 times 8 plus 5 over 8. Subtract 9 over 16. That gives me 8 plus 5 over 8. Subtract 9 over 16. Continuing on, I get 13 over 8, subtract 9/16. This is subtraction, so I'm looking for that LCD again. So between 8 and 16. Well, list my multiples of 8. 8, 16, 24. List my multiples of 16, 16, 32. Well, I guess I already got it. It's 16. So I'll need to change the first fraction to over 16, which is 8 times 2. And I'll have to multiply the top by 2 to keep that the same fraction. And subtract 9 over 16, because I'm not going to do anything to that 16. It's already the right denominator. So from there, it's a subtraction of the numerators, which we don't really like subtraction, especially when we don't have a calculator. So we'll make it negative 9 over 16. We'll do that keep, switch, and switch as well, switching the positive 9 to a negative 9. From here, all I need to do is put the bigger digit on top, smaller digit on bottom, check my signs. They're opposites, so it's subtraction. And I'll go borrow 1 from that 2 because I couldn't subtract it from the 6, which will leave me with 7, because 16 minus 9 is 7, and with a 1 left over, so giving us 17. The value of the larger digit was a positive number, so I'm going to end up with a positive answer. So with my answer of 17 over 16, I can rewrite that as 1 whole and 1/16 left over, and there's my answer.